I think a lot of people will agree that fundraising takes a certain amount of confidence. But for a lot of people, when they think about the confidence involved with fundraising, they really think about the solicitation, the asking for money. And while that certainly does take some confidence, there is a crisis of confidence that I think a lot of nonprofit fundraisers go through. And sometimes it pops up in really kind of unusual ways. And the example I'll share is early in my fundraising career, I was dropping something off at the office of one of our committee chairs. And I don't even remember at this point what I was dropping off. It was probably some reports or an award or something. It wasn't an ask situation. But I was driving through kind of this faceless, featureless Orange County business park, hoping I was in the right place. And I saw my volunteer, my donor's car in the parking lot, specifically his car parked diagonally across three spaces, specifically his Maserati, which was the nicest car I'd ever seen in real life. His personalized plate made it unmistakable. And here I am driving my, circa wherever. I think it was probably a Honda Civic at that time, maybe even a Saturn. But regardless, it was not an overly impressive car. So I'm parking in this parking lot near this Maserati, and I did have that moment of like, well, what do I have to say to people like this? Do I even belong in a room like this? I was a young professional. This guy had years on me and obviously was at a very different point in his life in terms of building a business, in terms of having wealth. And it really rattled me. I still did the meeting and it was fine. I dropped off what I needed to drop off. And, I didn't embarrass myself too much and it was fine. But it was still a moment that stuck with me because it was a moment where I asked myself the question, do I really belong in this space? And I really think that becomes a kind of a crux of the confidence problem that a lot of fundraisers struggle with. It's not necessarily about skills. It's not necessarily about knowledge of the mission or confidence in their understanding of how this mission or how this potential donation is going to affect or impact the community. It's that sense of belonging. Certainly, I've seen nonprofit professionals feel this way too when you're leaving the gala or you're leaving a donor luncheon event and you're at the valet stand at the hotel and all the other cars that are coming through are much nicer than yours. And there's that moment of like, ooh, is this really for me? So this problem, this idea of not really feeling like you belong in the world where you are kind of working, I do think speaks to a lot of the challenges fundraisers feel in getting comfortable with their jobs and getting confident with their jobs in going forward and having these conversations with individuals who on the surface we may not have much in common with. Now, of course, that's true for this volunteer I was speaking about in my example. He and I probably had very little in common, except except we both really believed in the mission of this nonprofit. He believed it because he was a donor and a volunteer. I believed it because I was an employee and a member of the fundraising team. And that's what we built our relationship on. And sometimes it takes a little bit of reminding to get back to that core element, that starting place, that common ground where we can build a relationship from. I bring this up today for two reasons. One, because talking about the confidence or the confidence challenges that comes with fundraising is an important part of what I do as a fundraising coach. It's something I really work with my clients on because they need to be confident and direct and proud about the work they're doing. And so sometimes we've got to work to get to that point. I'm also bringing it up because I just saw a study today, and I'm going to talk more about it next week. I just saw a study today that mentioned more than 70% of nonprofit respondents in this survey were thinking about leaving the nonprofit job they were in now. And the driving force for that was not feeling supported, not feeling like they have the resources they need to do their job. And that's another reason why I do what I do, because by leading fundraising efforts, by helping fundraisers with the plan creation, with the board training, and with that one on one coaching, I feel like I'm really able to help those individuals build up that sense of confidence, understand their power as a fundraiser, and understand how they can execute on their plans and get the success, get the results they need. So it's front of mind for me. I wanted to share that story. I'll also point out as we close out today's video that I am co-presenting on two different Washington area conferences, one in April, one in May. Information below in the video. I'm also co-presenting on a webinar sponsored by 1OC. This one will be about board members and special events. That's coming up next week. So again, information below. If you are a fundraiser, or if you are leading a team of fundraisers or leading a fundraising group, and you want to talk about ways to get your team the support they need to get your team that kind of accountability, that service, that support they need to build that confidence to do the work and to get the work done in a more efficient and more effective way, let's talk. Because that's what I want to do. I want to make fundraising not just something that works, because a lot of things work but burn us out. I want to create a fundraising program for you that is joyful and sustainable, that your team members aren't burned out by, that your team members aren't going to be looking over their shoulder for the next job opportunity because they like what they're doing and they like the level of support they're getting from you. So if you're ready to get started, let's get started. Reply to this message and we will talk soon. Keep up the great work. See you.